Hello once again, and welcome back to another wild, friendly, happy, and funny, and innovative and interesting haphazard recording with your host, Lance Renard. And to begin with, for any newcomers, I'd like to first of all explain a little bit about the channel that you are watching at this moment, and to the subscribers that I've had, hey gang, thank you for subscribing. I would like to offer an explanation as to my disappearance recently. And so this particular essay will be about that, going through a few comments and looking at some curious anomalies. And I'd also like to mention part of what held me up was the fantastic situation in that my mother has returned from Florida. She is what we call a snowbird, and so commonly she'll fly back on her own without a problem. However, in this instance this year, she had several items that I needed to run down and help her retrieve and make sure that she got back safely. And now that she is, we have the signs up. The neighbors were notified, and they had a little block party for her day before yesterday, and got together and gave her a little honor. And then we set up the signs, and I have my special suit to take care of the kitchen on a semi-occasional basis. And it's just great to have her here setting things up and arranging things for my comforts and conveniences as I do for her. So I wanted to mention that. We should always take care of our own gang. And now, and as one point of consideration, if your date starts talking about these guys, is she into bondage? That's just my question. And I just recently noticed Roger once again from Mud Fossil, and quite a variety of people mentioned that the Spain is a face. If you turn Spain in this direction and you zoom in here, you have the nose, chin, mouth, and curious formations, definitive details, chin, under, neck, and right. Those are some of the things that I've been looking at, we've been looking at, you've been attending me in looking at. And this whole huge sandy area. All right, let's ask a couple of questions. One of the questions is, you go, okay, what is sand? And I'll go ahead and Google it, and we'll get into the definition of that, sand in itself. And now, is it merely the breakdown of everything else? Does it to you? It just looks weird. And then there's other parts, like you zoom in on a town. Let's see where this is. Let's see where, oh, there you go. There you go. I think there is some created areas up in this region, up in the Yukon, Northwest Territory region, Upper Alaskanian. And I've done a lot of searching around up here, not as much as I probably should. It's, once again, a time factor for me in my strange little universe here. And so, I wanted to just share those details. Wish you well. And then you break it down into powder. Is that what sand is? See, now I have that curiosity. Are they the same thing? And your technical experts in these types of details will, well, I'm going to look it up right now, so we'll see what it says. But it always makes one curious when you look at these textures and how they are localized textures. We go, well, those are mountains and plate tectonics push this up from this ridge and that ridge, and then they smashed together and pushed up, and yeah, okay, and then they form somebody's face. Okay, I got that. No, actually, I don't got that. But you can actually, as an artist, make out different things with all of the, it's like putting a puzzle together in your mind. And say, well, this back formation looks just like a dolphin's fin, or whatever it may be. Not that I'm going to bring that up that much. I mean, it's brought up enough. And I don't want to hammer that issue to death. But the thing is, creating formations and actually discovering formations, that's why Roger gets so much kudos for this dragon that he displays on an overly incessant basis, and the details of such are curious indeed. The factual analysis of this, though, wouldn't it be great to just send a few crews down there and take out different chunks of this and that? But then the, I suppose, reasonable argument would be that, well, it's all calcified and mineralized, and so therefore would just essentially be the types of stones. Now, when you look at limestone, you find a lot of little creatures in it, and this is where the definitions between types of rocks and stones, and then looking at the geology, the overall landscape, and the color differentials of, and watching Roger with his explanations of the red and the dark colors, and then considering those explanations. And it is curious. Now, he says that gold sinks. That makes sense. It's very heavy, like lead. It would sink down to the lowest. So you don't see huge veins of gold, running across the surface. But one of my curiosities as well is, what? I could be looking at any pictures. They could totally change this picture around. And the only thing I would have to go by is maps. Whoever they is, you get the idea. The map makers, are these actual high altitude images? That's what they look like. They look like high altitude images. However, I don't know what can be fabricated. People will blindly trust and believe that these are taken by satellites. And of course, I don't blindly trust and believe anything. I was raised by a quite strange family, and my circumstances as a child led me to doubt anything that I was told, for different strange reasons. One of them was I was told, this is true now, since from the age of 1 to the age of 4, that everyone was born female and there were no males, and people just developed male parts later. Well, because I was told that, of course, I just thought everyone knew that growing up. And so early on, as I mentioned, even when I just started school, I doubted everything that I was told. Not for that one specific detail, but there were so many that I noticed as a child I was being lied to. And so I'm fortunate to have been brought up in an environment in which I thought I was being constantly lied to, and learned eventually who I could trust as friends and how to verify data and knowledge. Yeah, I don't know about you, but that kind of looks like an eyeball. So early on, verifying data and knowledge, and then having the wonderful coupling of being told I didn't have a father when I actually did, and then the coupling into that in my research, and finding Daddy and verifying things after I found him. So it's been quite an interesting ride for me. And and I have quite a limited time to do these surveys and analysis and details, but I thought I'd put this one together when I had the time, which I found the time to do, to get some of this information out to you about who I am, how I am, and why I am here on this channel. Like I said, it started out as just a playful experiment and turned into more than that, and I want to see where it goes from here. So little details about me and little helpful hints about how to control the universe around you without being played as much of a victim. I know it tends to run in on me quite a bit. Let's play the victim. So let's just try and help each other not. Now that has formation of a natural eyelid, upper eyelid, lower eyelid, brow, furrow, forehead, and then the other side. That's kind of neat. I'm going to turn that a little bit more this way. Kind of got a little Martian face going with a little smile down there, a little nose right here. Well, that's neat. I like stuff like that. See if I can find any more eyeballs laying around. So, anyway, getting into the different issues that are curious is one thing, but having something that's actually applicable to some form, degree, or nature is always nice. And if you're able to do a little experimentation with something, we'll take out. And this is the part where I cover some comments. And so I'm going to go ahead and look at Foxy. As says, the face in America looks like Peter Lorre. And thank you very much for saying that, Foxy. And Catiquitek. Oh yeah, my cat video. That was by request. Thank you for requesting that video. I had put it out once and deleted it. St. Pauli Girl says, the smarter you are, the folds... Let's see, the smarter you are, the more folds in your brain. How large or small the skull is not an indication for intelligence. A person with dwarfism is smaller sized skull as normal human. Both actually have the same structured brain. Only the dwarf's brain is sized to fit the dwarf's cranium, which does not affect their intelligence. If you have human DNA, you have a human brain, no matter what size it may be. It's all relative and made to fit the brain cavity in the cranium. Giants have human DNA. Cool. And just like us, some of them were smarter than others due to the amount of folds in their brain. Although you can't rule out the possibility that their brains could have had many more folds than ours do now. I do think we start out having 100% usage of our brain, which seems to decrease with every generation, and we started out with perfect genetic coding that seems to get more corrupt with every new generation. They call it junk because it serves no purpose for us. I think that junk still works, but our brains have lost the ability to utilize the junk's functions. I think the farther back in time you go, the more intelligent everyone was, no matter what size you were. Well, great. Thanks, St. Pauli Girl. I really appreciate that. Step it up and set me straight. I do not mind. Greatly appreciated. Thanks. CT Engineer says, Lance, check out The Legend of the Sleeping Giant in Hammond, CT, Connecticut. Also, when I searched for it, others came up in Canada as well. And so I'm going to have to get into this. Thank you. And this is the Sleeping Giant that was mentioned here by CT. We've got The Sleeping Giant Has a Name, Hobomok. And Guilford author has a new illustrated book about him video. So yeah, go ahead and check this out. I will put this link in my description, or actually you've got it on the comments section. And go through this information. Because I want to visit there, I want to look at it from above, and I will cover that in one of my next videos. Just having a little tough time navigating through this page at this point. Just wanted to bring it up that I do check out all the links that you send to me, and occasionally it'll take me a little time, but I wanted to just show this real quickly. Once again, thanks, man. CT Engineer. Biggest D says, look up NASA photos of the Earth. There's nothing but demonic faces in the clouds. You know it, Biggest D, and you got that right. They're a bunch of scammers, in my opinion, and I don't mind offending anybody by saying NASA means never actually showing anything. But anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted your comments. Demonic faces in the clouds and on land. I've tried telling people, but nobody will listen. And that's true. You can tell people, and very often, you just get blank stare and awe that couldn't be. Logan, hey Logan, I got one of those little wee babies last March. It was so cute. He's talking about the cats video, and little male in all black. I hope your cat's doing well, Logan. He still has his moments, but most of the time he's a little beast. My little Apollo, which is short for Apollyon. Cool. White Tiger, good to hear from you again. I apologize for being gone for so long. I gave a quick explanation in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I am going to go through more. I want to bring up Linda Perez. Sorry about blowing by you, White Tiger. And I'm glad you like cats. Appreciate that. And Linda Perez, I've shared some of her videos. And Jane, he just mentioned you, Jane. And thanks. Yep, I'm going to mention you guys as I go through my comments. Linda Perez, Figment, Pigment, Jigment. Yep, that was it. You explained it best. Absolutely see it. So did you have more intelligence? And this is it once again with the giants with the bigger brains. So did they have more intelligence because they're a giant with bigger brains? Probably not. They're probably most mostly extinct, wouldn't you say? That's not very smart, silly Nephilim. Yeah, it's a projected idea. Actually, no, I've seen many gargantuan with dim wits, and then the other way around as well. But it was a consideration that I did want to bring up as a curiosity in the building, and you know how we're put together. Your humble opinion is always mine as well. Oh, thank you, Christy McGowan. Of course, they weren't idiots. Just look at all the ruins they left behind that we can't build today. Love this video. Well, thanks. I'm questionable on every one of my videos, so thank you guys. Looking forward to the next one. And this is the next one, Christy. Cool. Thank you. And we got a whole lot more to go through, and I will on my next videos. I don't want to... holy shit, I was so busy mapping out skull bones, I totally missed Jesus' face. I can't believe I missed that. Yeah, I can't believe it either, and I keep looking for something that looks better, and I haven't found it yet. That is a cool face. If that is not proof that these images are manipulated, I don't know what is. What a great find. Okay, I will watch the rest of the video now. Cheers. Cheers, Christy McGowan, and cheers to all of you. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for watching and your subscriptions, and I will be back soon as time allows. As I mentioned, let's take a look at our spammers quick before I sign off. Jane Threes, what are you kidding me? Water is not H2O, and I like your comment, Jane. I'm going to unspam you, and look forward to coming back shortly, soon, and with some great, interesting content for you guys. Thanks. Keep leaving the comments, and I will talk to you soon. And I'm required to say, comment, like, and subscribe, and don't forget to share. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.